Well, Rebel, here we are for the third time tonight. As once again, we have Gwen vs. Jax, and Gwen vs. Jax, and Gwen vs. Jax, and so much Gwen.
Yeah, I never thought I'd get sick of those two champions. Well, okay, that's not true. I never thought I'd get sick of Jax this quickly, but I'm kind of sick of seeing Jax at this point. Especially not coded Jax. We're getting everybody else's version of Jax, which just isn't the same. But now Hosbig gets his hand at it, so maybe he can finally take it to end pro a little bit in the matchup.
Yeah, it's very possible. Of course, the Yone Diana, incredibly explosive for SBTC, could get a lot going. Always love seeing Froggy on his Silas. Except game one at MSI, we don't talk about that one.
No, we don't talk about that. No.
Decent first trade there against Dia as well. Overall, I actually quite like both of these team comps. Oh, hello, Dia one wants to kill. Froggy flashing away.
Interesting. No, not a great start at all. The TP is held, though, by Froggy, so he can always use it for health if he needs to, just as a backing mechanism, which is kind of nice to think about. Yeah, it was interesting because Froggy pulled one of the first minions, so he actually had quite a bit of control over top the minion wave. It was Dia1's forcing and playing into this as much as he did that really kind of salvaged this. Is now bottom lane's in some trouble as well.
Yeah, Celebrity doing a lot of damage there onto Shogun. Looks like he was just completely unable to respond with the threat of Paulette walking at him, that big ball of health that is Tahm Kench.
The Ignite was also dropped on Shogun, which was funny because I don't think after the Ignite went down that anything else got used on Shogun. So it was just an Ignite almost as like a normal ability, which was kind of funny. But outside of that, it was just a normal circumstance that had happened on the bottom side here. Oh, okay. More action. Paulette getting frisky with Taki and that brush right there. That's kind of nice.
I mean, you're really just seeing sort of the weakness of Rel. She just doesn't have an ability unless she wants to use her W. Her Q is, just straight up one of the worst spells in the game. And if you press W, you suddenly go into poopy pants form, and you don't really want to be in that right now. So she just has auto attack.
Yeah, her...
Shogun in trouble. Paulette could try and get something done. There's the crash down coming out from Taki, but Celebrity with that green gun has so much range, and SGB's bot lane is forced back.
It basically would have probably amounted to essentially a 1-for-1, ended up being traded back and forth between the two right there had they decided to commit for it, but I think they ended up winning the Hell trade, which was the grand scheme of things, I think, ultimate landing point for what happened during that little bit of skirmish happening. As BJ, I think, is finishing up his like last little bit of clear here. He actually didn't get a crab either. They got both crabs. It looks like Aphelios, Celebrity and Paulette stepped up out of lane after pressuring back Shogun and Taki to pull that bottom side scuttle. DNK had pathed up the top side, and so he had already grabbed the scuttle as well before this blue buff. Now has a chance to maybe punish Hosmed because BJ already backed and is off the map. So this is the opportunity right now from DNK.
There is a ward, and of course it is a Jack, so it would take a mistake from Hosmed, particularly with how big this wave is. I think this is just going to get shoved into tower. It'll just get Emperor a good range.
Yeah, it's a nice little position, as nothing is broken quite yet. I don't know if you've also noticed, but our scoreboard appears to be, not our scoreboard, the scoreboard appears to be busted right now, and so we don't get gold updates at the moment. So when that happens, hopefully they'll fix that soon enough so that we have the option to actually see what's going on there. But at the moment, it's just been pressuring back slowly by the side of SE onto Saigon Buffalo. We're being a lot more patient, I think, than what we saw in the previous two games. They're really terrified of what happens if they lose this series specifically, I suppose, because now they're in a really bad position. SE, this would be a commanding win. We talked about the opposite being true, where it's like if Saigon end up winning this one, they get a lot of momentum back. But if they lose this one, SE just picks up so much validity as being one of, if not the favorite right now, to beat just about every single other team in the league.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Starting off 4-0 is... you almost guarantee yourselves playoffs, which gets you into a great position as, Froggy... Dia1, I should say, as BJ, of course, was on the way in. My mistake. And he's flashing forward. Dia1?
What is happening right now?
What did he think was going to happen? Did he think he was about to hit level 6?
I have no idea. Not to mention the fact that immediately afterwards there was no abscond abduct ready from Froggy. I don't know if he had just used the cooldown or something like that, but that also felt like it was punishable from Saigon's side, and yet they didn't do that either. So I
think that was Dia1 cooldown.
Okay, I mean, if that's the case, they didn't have as much to punish it. But yeah, that was really strange from DN1. Maybe he thought also that DNK was closer or something, because DNK was kind of hovering the area with like the Raptors nearby, but Saigon had full vision of it, so they knew everything that was about to happen. That was just a weird circumstance.
I mean, to be fair, like, he has asserted himself as the true Sigma male of the mid lane. Like,
He's Chad. He is the Chad. True. Doesn't need a flash, doesn't need his exhausted level 1, just doesn't need anything to actually make things happen. Now, also, in fairness, too, we get to see things from like a grand scope perspective and all the vision on the map and everything. So it's like, on one hand, we see it from here, so we see that and like oh, that's goofy. Maybe from DL1's perspective, he saw something different or communicated something different, so I don't want to trash him too much for it. But yeah, that was,
he didn't get
we'll call it a bold maneuver. That's what we'll call it.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that phrasing. It was incredibly bold. VCS actually one of the boldest regions in the world. But it has been quiet. Of course, as we said, we know the scoreboard's broken. They do, in fact, earn gold when they kill minions. But there has been no kills, which is unusual for 7 minutes into it.
Yeah, not ridiculous. Again, in the modern era, wow. Okay, all right, Hazmed flexing a little bit on the minions there. Showing his kiting potential on the minions right there. Absolutely flexing on those fools. Nothing else to be said about that. But yeah, it's a very slow-paced game. I don't think we're seeing fighting. Both these teams have played. They both played actually really respectfully. We've seen these big lapses in aggression in the course of these games, them trying to wait for big moments where like they can actually exploit and take advantage of what tools that they have. Both these teams have been really good about this series. We're not seeing as much a needless aggression like we did yesterday. If you you were around yesterday enough to where like there was needless aggression in a number of different places, especially that second game with like GAM versus their opposition. Yeah, GE. That third game was something else, but that is not this game. So
engage attempt comes in from the SE bot lane, but the Moonlight Vigil missing basically means everything else does as well. Paulette gets chunked down very hard, and that ultimate is now on cooldown.
Another bold move. That one right there was Paulette, who he was trying to preempt the fact that the Moonlight Vigil tags, because if it does, he gets the Gravitum, he gets everything else. Ooh, Froggy just gets some free damage, I think, thrown on a DO1 before his E runs out. That's kind of nice. But again, it was him trying to preempt that. I was really worried he was actually going to go down right there, whether or not Taki would be able to land a Q, maybe an Ignite on the rail to shatter the shield and then potentially continue like the play afterwards. But again, the presence from DNK was enough to shove back Shogun and Taki because they didn't want to get ulted and basically double killed under their own tower. So again, just respect being given to both sides as our scoreboard is back. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. 500 gold lead for SE is all we've got at the moment. And that's mid lane, because that's CS gap. As BJ hovering up on the top side, Husband moving forward, pops the Grandmaster's Might, has the stun, and can they get the first blood? They can. BJ the beneficiary.
Yeah, very nice. That last flash, I don't know if it was full now. The ultimate was going to come through from Enper, and I would think it was the healing he was trying to prevent more than anything else. As Taki, Froggy, everybody, did Froggy just snag the ultimate from Tom Kench? Okay.
That he's made the decision to grab the Tom Kench.
Big Pog for the big frog. Let's go.
So Tom, a bit of Silas talk, if I have a second.
Sure. Go ahead.
Taking Tom Kench in the late game is actually not terrible, particularly against Ayane Yasuo. Like, you can just like grab Shogun if he needs help, but doing it as your first ultimate, I don't agree. I think a Yone ultimate is quite good.
I was thinking that maybe the option here was that they really wanted to play for Rift Herald, and they were like, okay, if we grab Tom Kench ultimate, maybe we could pull out Rel if she wants to go in, so like Taki would be safer, just like full blitzing in. Does that play on top side versus BJ? Again, this flash right here, yeah, I think there was enough damage that it might have been like, it might have been worrisome to get hit by that, get Enper healed, and then Enper gets one more like snip that could have potentially killed Hosman. Maybe that was the intention behind the flash, but if anything, it was just a respect flash. But yeah, that's my only theory behind the Froggy and Tom Kench grab, right? Is like, it's a powerful ability. It's got some nice uses, and I think the shield gets scaled too, which is like, that shield's already insane as it is, right? So it's kind of nutty to think about what it could be in the later stage of the game. But here, again, the only thing I can think is like, if Taki wants to blind jump in for like just wild aggression to kind of like combine with Shogun, and then is worried he wants to get out, maybe they just pop the Tom Kench ultimate with Silas when he jumps into frontline or something. But that's all I got.
Yeah,
that's also a bad decision. Don't get me wrong. Like, this isn't a good thing. I'm just
I think he should have taken Yone ult. Like, I think Yone ult was just better. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Hijack's
not wasted anyway, so
yeah. Hijack is halfway back up, so it's not too bad. There is a dragon on the map. Rift Herald did end up going over to SC. DNK has that one in his pocket as Hazmed's in a lot of trouble. Hops away, but Enpa, he doesn't actually want to follow it up on this one.
Nope. Hazmed had the Grandmaster's might up, and so he was tanky to make sure it wasn't going to come through. Now the cooldowns are down from Emperor. The one fear is like the snip. Hazmed's just going to take the minions. I think Emperor has to be a little careful of it, because again, if you miss the queue, then you have autos to have to hit, and then you're playing the Counter-Strike, you're playing into, give me the copy pasta in one of the languages, ladies and gentlemen, somebody in the chat.
BJ goes in onto Palette, uses Cyclone. This time Froggy does steal away the Fate Seal. He's extremely scary while he has that. But with the Cyclone down, I don't think SGB really wants to engage.
No. The Dragon has yet to be taken either. And I think that's what both these teams are actually competing for right now.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Again, it's both teams that are kind of posturing, wanting to get into this bottom side river. Without the Cyclone, it's harder, but they still have big ultimates to use. Again, Rel is still really massive when it comes to these skirmishes, especially early. You got Shogun with the Featherstorm as well. There's possibilities, but it looks like BJ is just not comfortable with no Cyclone, with no mid priority to actually step into bottom side river, and so they're not going to do so. They're just going to let the Dragon go over.
Yeah, it does surprise me a little bit that they didn't want to try and make something happen there, but I don't necessarily blame them. The first Dragon, it's not that big a deal to just let that one go. One stack of the Hex Vector is it's not back. Up on the top side, you have a bit of a CS lead developing for Hazmed. The mid lane is going pretty heavily in DR1's favor. That's not too surprising in the matchup, both of champions and players. So how do you think this one's really going for both teams? How do you think they're looking at this one?
I'm having walked in and watched this draft, I was just like trying to compile my thoughts on this, because this is like a wacky like versus, but I think both teams have the same general identity, which is that the top three champions on both teams, that is to say top, jungle, mid on both sides, want to dive and attack the ADC on the other team, right? The only difference here is that Xayah is her own self-peel with the Featherstorm, because Rel also wants to join the other three in diving into the other side, and Tom Kench is going to stand next to Aphelios and make sure that when somebody dives onto him, he is safe. But other than that, they are effectively the same composition in a number of different ways. Big AoE ultimates, members that want to jump into the other side, very low range type compositions as well for a lot of bruisery type action, which makes, to me, the skirmishes are a lot more interesting than the team fights. The team fights feel like it's just going to be a muscle fest of who's got more gold at the time, because skill expression is going to be there, but it feels like it's like they're so similar that it doesn't matter. It's just who's stronger, who gets the first engagement off faster. So which is why the tiny ones, like the 2v2s, the 3v3s, are going to be much more influential, because those are the ones that are going to be shifting map state and shifting like gold state in the game that give those big fights kind of the credence for your team.
I'll see sort of where they do end up going with that, how they actually played out, what ends up being better, Featherstorm or Tom Kench.
Featherstorm or Tom Kench.
Well, I mean, in terms of peel, right? It's because obviously Tom Kench is better than just the Featherstorm, but it means you get Rel diving in. There's trade-offs. I think it's actually pretty interesting to see how that one's going to play out.
Absolutely.
If the gold stays even, because right now it's dead even, because we have accidentally started streaming the LCK.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me prepare like I usually do for my LCK streams. Snoozing, dude. I could wake up in the morning and go cast LCK, bro. Like, why? I came here for a reason. I came to watch action. Where's my action?
Yone ultimate. Oh no, dear.
He missed it.
He used it. No, he hit the Wukong clone, and Yone stops when he hits the first champion.
Classic. Actually, really good for BJ to do that interaction. Yeah. Props to him for being able to know that. Although, in fairness, I think he would have used that anyway. To
DNK gets on top of him, over the wall with the W, so will survive. 2 ultimates, resulting in a red buff steal.
It's not bad. And flash, I do suppose. So, like, BJ can't flash and Cyclone on top of somebody. And the trade-off also is now that, like, there's so much on the top side of the map here, because multiple members are here, that Shogun's going to pull first tower, which is kind of cool.
Froggy, bad time to move forward as he steals away the Diana roll. A lot of damage coming in. I'm telling a lie. As he picks himself up a kill, he survives as well. And forward goes Tarky, throws out the lance and gets the triple kill.
No way. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're Froggy has multiple strikes as a number of things that I just watched happen, but he did play the dive exceptionally well. And the fact that, like, again, like Taki's here just to clean up afterwards is insane. Even with 1 kill going over, it doesn't matter. Now, they didn't get anything for this, which I think is the most beneficial thing. Rel getting 3 kills doesn't do all that much. Like, Froggy not dying means that they get nothing for this play. Why are we dashing into the right? That was the first thing. I was like, you did this to yourself, Froggy. Like, I don't understand. And then he does outplay the rest of the situation. Really unfortunate that little gale force and the dust sweep doesn't work either. I can't remember. I think dust wave is what it's called, but we're right back into action.
Yep, and there we go. Froggy getting value from the stolen Tom Kenchold as he just yoinks BJ over the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, on the hunt. Wants to go in. Can we get over there? There's the laser coming down from the moon. But DNK immediately just has to go. Oh, he gets him on the way out. Good fade away.
Yeah, very nice play from DNK, being able to assassinate, being able to come in from a different angle and find a kill for themselves, getting the shutdown of BJ, who's just been abused over the last couple of minutes. A Shogun also, he has Feather Storm, he has Exhaust. Yeah, you don't want that. You already burn ultimate, DNK. We're not doing that anymore. Now we're diving topside again.
We're going to Froggy again. This time he has access to no ultimates. The DR1 ult does hit as Froggy will be taken down, Enper getting the gold.
Yeah, dive after dive after dive being set up here on the side of SE, just making sure to take advantage of this really heavy skirmish composition. Shogun gets guys.
Shogun, where are you, man?
He just, I think it was like Celebrity was walking at him, and then Dan Key came from like behind. You see the place like right above the river, and so it pushed him back. This is that play that had come through. He got vision from the Q, was able to walk away. Yeah, BJ was just slowed on his way out. That kind of sucks. And like that little bit of slow was enough to actually keep him within place. Then we get to see the dive set up in the mid lane, which didn't happen. Yeah, okay, we don't get anything else. Good.
Very good awareness from DNK just to know that he could land that fade away and still get out. So well done. As SGB will pick themselves up a dragon.
You're the resident Silas expert here. Why are we building Crown in this game?
Arix.exe.
Like, there's 2 reasons to build it, right? One of them is that you're getting burst out because you're a mage and you have no mobility, right? Which, like, maybe the possibility here is like you don't want to get tagged by Yone ultimate and just get instant eviscerated with like a Diana combo, right?
So
but you're
good.
Silas, right? But you're Silas. But the other part of it, I guess, okay, I will give it this, which is that it doesn't get broken very easily because there's one ranged champion on this team, right? So maybe there is that use, which is that he can jump in, and if nobody hits him on the way in, then if you start using abilities, it's not going to do any damage until a crown breaks. So I'll give Froggy that little bit of credence. And in that case, actually, you get the second half of this, which is that you get bonus AP when the shield is available. So if they can't break it, you get if you hit a really good ultimate as Froggy, then you get bonus AP on top of it. I don't think it's the right choice, but
Enper and Husman having a biffo. Enper's in trouble. One more swing of the lamp. Wow. No!
Actually,
They get there in time. He survives for so much longer. Now Froggy's in trouble. Can't land the chains. And no, they can't get away with the blast cone. 2 kills immediately going over for SE.
Every time one of these teams makes an aggressive movement, it feels like they are immediately punished for it. Like, how many dives have we seen that haven't worked out well? How many aggressive moves have we seen that haven't worked out well on both sides now? Where, like, it's whoever makes the aggressive move to kick things off is the one that ends up being punished for it. So now we get this chess match of, like, who's going to make the aggressive move. Because this was Hamid, I think, stepping up into Emperor. Yeah, wanting the fight. In fairness, he won this fight really heavily. Like, look at this. He destroyed this fight. Yeah, they just cheated. So.
Yeah, they didn't respect the top lane. This is why I think top lane should get reworked into you just play the Riot fighting game, and that's it.
You play for honor, yeah. Like, it's just a for honor game, 100%. Yeah. And again, then Froggy tries to come in and clean up the kill, and they bring another member. So again, once again, cheating here on the side of it. I probably shouldn't use that terminology. It's probably not the best for use of this team, so I'm going to avoid doing that from this point on.
Regardless, the game does continue. The one thing I wanted to say on that Silas item question is just I feel like Everfrost was so free against this team. They're all going to dive directly on top of you. You can land some massive Everfrost. But we won't dwell on it because the choice has been made. Maybe he just wanted to feel fancy. As there was a bit of a clash over vision in the topside river, but they do manage to get away. Items are coming in. Husband and Enper having another biff. This time going much more in favor of Enper, and he snips him down.
Wow, that was kind of insane. The thing was, like Emperor actually got the majority of his ultimate off at the beginning of this, which is what dropped Hosmed's health bar. Last time Hosmed got the engagement first, and that's what kind of forced his willpower and let him kind of auto attack freely. And Emperor was killing Ketchup, but right there, it felt like Emperor was the one that actually got the damage out first against Hosmed, and that's why it looked so much different, which was kind of insane to think about, especially with Maw already completed on the side of Hosmed. The fact that that wasn't even enough to get through all of this is just insane to think about.
Yeah, absolutely insane stuff, to say the least. And I mean, if Husband doesn't win that side lane, I actually think it's a pretty big problem for SGB, because I don't know how they control Emperor.
I don't know that they do either, especially because it's one of their big team fighters. They get another try with BJ here against Emperor. He has no ultimate this time.
Yeah, there's the Cyclone doing a lot of damage, and that will shut the Gwen down.
Yeah, nicely played by BJ, just being able to help punish and clean up the mistake that Hosmed had left behind only a couple of seconds ago. And it's going to buy some time for Hosmed to set up bot wave really effectively. What are you going to do, DNK? What are you going to hit him with a Q and then not hit him because he has Featherstorm up? I'm sorry, I keep harassing DNK unnecessarily.
Really
but like,
mean.
I've been very mean to DNK. Yeah, like he keeps walking at Shogun menacingly, but no, he's not. Like it's like he's got Flash, he's got Exhaust, he's got like Featherstorm, he's got Gale Force. Like he has so many tools to avoid it. I feel like that's not the person DNK should be looking for until a true fight breaks out. And so like it's just weird to see him continue to fish like this. Not that it's the wrong play, because again, if he catches Shogun off guard, he probably one taps him because he's on 2 completed items. So
I mean, yeah, at the same time, like
I'm not trying to harass DNK. I'm sorry, DNK. I apologize.
Okay, he does not know that you said.
He doesn't know that I exist. Yes,
it's also true. He doesn't know that any of us exist. But regardless.
There's got to be one player in the VCS, right, that like watches and is just like shaking his fist, like, oh, I'm gonna make sure that they're punished when like somebody's mad at us.
I mean, there are players that have had that reaction. We do know that there are players that have, like Yoshino famously, when we started criticizing him, got very upset with us. In good spirits, to be fair, not flaming Yoshino. As 4 seconds on this dragon, Taki, be careful about which way you want to go. SGB do have control over this side of the river.
Actionable potentially between both teams. You have the bottom side river. It's SE who are kind of prioritizing mid push. I think they just want to push for the tower. They're not even willing to go for the dragon. So Saigon Buffalo are kind of split right now because they've got 2 members underneath this tower. They're going to lose it anyway. There's nothing big there. Yeah. I think it's the right decisions on both sides, right? Like you continue dragon stacking, you want to force fights. If you're on the side of Saigon, you want the big 5-on-5s. If you can avoid the big ultimates like the Diana and the Yone, you're fine. And on the other side, they just want more.
Froggy gets caught, uses a Diana ultimate of his own, goes gold, trying to buy time. Enpa is there, will take him down as in goes the Dia1. He doesn't get back to his soul, so mid lane is traded at the moment. Husmed goes forward, stuns up Celebrity. Can they actually bring some damage? No, they can't. Just the 1-for-1.
Ooh, okay.
Husband's not done.
Right. He's poking away. Yeah, he continued to drop some of the health bars here as much as possible, but I feel like that's going to be that. And again, SE's big thing is this immediate combination of ultimates between the Yone and between the Diana. That time it did get Froggy, but it didn't get anybody else. Like it was completely useless after that. And so because of that, they ended up trading 1-for-1, but it felt like Saigon was actually on the front foot there because they had the ability to step back in with things like, Wukong's pretty good in extended fights. Shogun's really good in extended fights with feathers and things. They've got more than enough to continue to fight with. That was Froggy jumping blind over the wall.
I feel like what happened is Froggy was trying to speed up his auto attacks to kill the ward faster, and didn't realize
and he accidentally hit somebody.
He accidentally hit someone.
Okay, I actually like that, so that's my working theory. I think that's right.
That's my headcanon.
That's the headcanon right there for the VCS right now. Is that Froggy was trying to get his attack speed and he accidentally tagged somebody with the chains. Much to his dismay. Although it wasn't just a 1-for-1, they did get a kill. I'm pretty sure it went on a Shogun too, right?
I think they're fairly happy with it. It's okay.
That's fine. It's fine, yeah.
But
that's going in the VETV montage. the goofy one that they have at the beginning of the stream. That's going in next week. Yeah, guaranteed.
They've always got the flame one. That's something we should start doing. We need to start putting together flame.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, let's get back into it, Rebel. Try and get our heads back on straight.
Well, that's the thing. Trying to get our heads on straight has been impossible in this series because it's the most lackadaisical VCS series we've ever seen. Look at this. 12 kills in 25 minutes. Was this less than half a kill per minute? We are watching the LCK. This is ridiculous.
Absolute snooze.
Absolutely. But again, it's both these teams, I think, being more methodical about how they're deciding to play out fights. And we are fighting around bigger things, right? We're still picking some weird fights like that one right there where Froggy accidentally started a team fight by just coincidence. We assume that's our headcanon. But outside of that, I mean, they're setting up Baron very nicely right now. They're trying to get mid control. They're trying to put vision in the river. They're trying to make sure that they're readily available for these big objectives so that both these teams can use these big team fight type compositions to their fullest. And I think that's good from both teams. It just means that maybe the play-by-play meta is starting to shrink a little bit here in the VCS.
I mean, we do have about 10 different color casters and only 2 play-by-plays. So
that's true. That's true.
We've just been ahead of the game, as this is a game with about 300 gold between these teams once Froggy cleans up this wave. 400, in fact. And Rebel, I mean, I'm going to ask you a question that is often banned to be asked on casting recommendations.
Sure.
Who scales better?
Who scales better? That is a wonderful question.
I want a definitive answer.
Okay. There's a million ways I could answer this, and I'm probably just going to give you the super fast one that I think that SE scales better. There's a lot of things that go into it, but the biggest thing to me is just that if you have an extended fight, I always like extended fights and members that can fight from far away. So ADCs that like are interactive with the opposing team are always nice to have. And I think eventually it gets to a point where Celebrity is going to be better than Shogun. And so hyper late, those are the things that make a difference. Now, there's a bunch of things that change that. Like, does Froggy land something good? Does BJ get a good ultimate? Is Hosmet an absolute menace getting into the backline? Things like that. That can absolutely change, where is Celebrity? What is he capable of doing? But if we're considering just a Celebrity versus Shogun, eventually it feels like Celebrity will outpace Shogun. And in the grand scheme of things, everything else kind of clashes in front of them. And those two are just auto-attacking the remnants of the fight.
All right, fair enough. Good one to keep in mind, as we did see Froggy once again stealing away the Tom Kench ult. Really thinks that it's the right one to take. I don't agree. Like, you see a Yone and a Diana ult, it's good.
It's something about him in defense this game. I mean, he's got Crown, he's got Zonias, he's taken Tom Kench ultimate. Like, I wonder if he took Resolve runes as well, just as like an extra added bonus just to his defenses. He just doesn't want to die. And he's going Verdant? What? What?
He's a pacifist.
He is terrified of damage this game. Goodness gracious. Like, eventually he'll get to a point where he does get damage, but it's been so delayed. Okay. Fighting.
Oh, it's a big Yone ultimate, but immediately they just go back.
Fighting? Question mark?
Hello?
And they're going to lose mid tower. They might lose mid inner from this. Shogun never even showed up. He never left mid.
Shogun just called their bluff.
Good job, Shogun. I can appreciate that. Everybody else is messing around.
Oh, in goes BJ with the zoning cyclone as it gets them a second tower. And this will get them a dragon. Rebel, this is macro.
Insane. Of all of the ways, this is macro from Saigon Buffalo. I think it's just a better bluff call from the side of SE. I also wonder if they're going to go poke around in the Baron pit with 2 of the members that don't need to be there for Dragon. Like if Taki and Froggy are here, just to make sure that they play a lot more carefully and safely walking into the river. They did stall a little bit. Yeah, they're doing a little bit of diligence right now. And it's going to buy time, I think, for Hosmed to be able to show up. There's no Cyclone to fight with. Yeah.
BJ can get over the wall with his W, but this Baron's dying extremely fast. He needs to get in there now. Has the blast going. There it is. No, DNK with the good smite. Froggy dives into the backside. Shogun in trouble. Throws out the Featherstorm. It doesn't actually lock DR1 up. It's a 1-for-1 at the moment. DNK on the run. Froggy steals the Yone ult. Hits a whole lot of air. DR1 double knockup. Very good stuff. Takes down BJ, but goes down himself. Celebrity now under pressure from Hosmed, but there's the Tom Kench coming in clutch. And can he get him? No. Celebrity will live, which means it's a 3-for-2 and a Baron in favor of SE.
Really, really incredible set of plays right here. Because again, Saigon just seemed to be taking win after win. And finally, SE, they just say, you have no Cyclone. You're going to be splitting between the Dragon and the mid lane. We're going to call the Baron and we're going to take it super fast. They get the Baron. They get the fight afterwards. They get everything. And there's so much nuance to everything that happened right there. The biggest thing, though, again, if we're breaking down just off of the back of our analysis.
We are breaking down.
We're going to break it down. Yes. Take a look at Shogun. All right. Ready? Wait for it. There it is. You remember how I said this fight is going to end up being diver versus diver on both sides? That time, everyone on Saigon went into the pit, and then Shogun's just there, and he has one defensive thing to use inside of that. The fight afterwards actually gets saved by Hosmed. The fact that Hosmed almost won this in like a 3v1 is really insane to me. And he can get better because, again, eventually he's going to get even stronger. This Jax make this more of a menacing thing. But again, if it comes down to Shogun versus Celebrity, you have to protect your ADC. The rest of Saigon Buffalo, unfortunately, just got scattered to the wind, and he got brought down way too quickly.
And the team just didn't trust Husmed's damage there. I feel like if Froggy had been helping out, they kill Celebrity, they might be able to get something going on the back of the fight, but they're just not good enough friends, apparently.
The power of friendship, their friendship needs to grow very, very quickly because they're not thrust into a horrid position. They're up 2 dragons. They're only down 2,000 gold. It seems like the Baron, it might pull one additional tower, probably at least one of the side lane towers, and maybe one of the inner towers will definitely go down if they don't get more than that. But it's not going to lead to anything more than maybe 3,000-4,000 gold.
Oh, Dia1's in a lot of trouble. His soul was not far away, but thankfully Paulette was nearby, as we do see those towers going down. But it's actually 1 each.
Yeah, Paulette using a nice addition of the stolen Froggy ultimate right there to actually make that work. This Hosmed's on the other side of the map being a little bit of a nuisance right now as he's just split pushing. Yone has already gone to the other side of the map. They lost the top tower, but they kept the mid-inner tower. They're going to keep multiple members here.
He's just going to get the tower.
Yeah, he is. Oh,
he just gets it.
Missed.
He might go down as they actually have engaged onto him. They've already used the ultimate.
There's 2 more.
Dia1 is actually going to have to snap back to his soul pretty soon, so now he can't help anymore. Celebrity and Paulette on the way as well. Husband has to walk into them. No. Oh no! But look at all the time he buys.
He bought a ridiculous amount. That's Baron buff. Also, that's wasted. And he got the inhibitor tower. He pulled 2 full towers on bottom side in exchange for the 1 inner on top. They didn't lose mid inner. They didn't lose either inhibitor tower. And this is while SE had a buff or had a Baron buff. That's insane. Hosmed is a difference maker on the Jax. Usually you see it kind of pop into fights and do some crazy things, which we already saw once. But right there on the split push, actually making quite a bit of an influence because he burnt their Baron. He prevented their pushing on the other side of the map. Really, really forced the hand of SE. Really effective use of that macro and that cross map play from Hosmed.
I mean, now this is just getting a little bit ridiculous, Rebel.
I thought you were saying pod racing. I thought you were like, now this is pod racing.
I wish I had. That was really funny.
Fair enough.
You're just funnier than me. But we have a minute on the dragon. And this time, I actually think Ocean Soul matters.
It does make a difference. Yes. The biggest thing is, like, again, Shogun doesn't want to get hit with any of the big ultimate cooldowns, but the big thing is, like, afterwards, there's still consistent damage coming out of Emperor, DNK, Dia1, and Celebrity. But if you claim Ocean Soul, that means as long as you're not tagged by the big burst tools or the big CC tools that can prevent Shogun from auto-attacking, then he wins the war of attrition, which I think suddenly changes the scaling back into the favor of Saigon Buffalo, if we're just talking about it from those concerns. Then you also talk about, like, Jax is going to be incredibly good at fighting over time. So is Froggy, so is Bean J on these multiple champions that have good extended fights. So this Ocean Soul only seeks to make this team incredibly more powerful in extended fights. So again, it's just about dodging that initial barrage of really powerful cooldowns.
Look at Froggy. It's guerrilla warfare.
Deep flank.
He is really deep and he's completely unspotted.
I would call him submerged in the swamp, prepared to pounce.
Yeah, here he comes. Now they spot him.
And then he walks in.
No, but he's got the Diana ult. Uses it on 1, is zoning Emperor and DNK out, but getting snipped in exchange. Oh no, he might... No, he just about lives. DNK jumps forward, dragon to SE. That was a lot of work for not a lot.
He went so far around just to poke his head out of the brush so they could see him, walked back into it, then turned back around, one-man Diane ulted, and then almost died. Such is the legacy of Froggy. Truly a masterclass.
Chad.
Chad, I like to say, refuses to elaborate.
Refuses to elaborate. But in they go once again, steals away the Gwen ult. They catch onto Emperor. Can they actually take him down? with the Zonya's buying time. Oh no, Taki misses the crash down completely. DNK gets in onto Shogun. They're trying to cut it out. They never killed Enpa. There's the first kill. Tier1 dives into the backside as well, takes down Shogun. Paulette will come in to help out as well. He gets back to the soul. I think he's going to live as well, particularly with the Guardian Angel. And SGB are getting absolutely destroyed. They've got no hope of getting away. A teleport's coming in, and that may well just be game.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it right here, right now. They do have 2 members left, right? They still have Hosmet. They still have BJ. I don't maybe know that this is just a pure kill shot, especially if Hosmet finds something under the tower, but he's going down. Yeah, that's it.
That's gotta be game. They don't have Cyclone to try and clear the wave. I don't think BJ can do anything about this. I think this is just game. He's not even going to try. He's going to save his KDA. And that is going to be SE completing the reverse sweep and taking a win. They start 4-0 in the VCS. And Rebel, the way they've